Welcome to the Offspace podcast. It's your host with the motherfucking most Shuka offer.
And it's your favorite co-host, Ezigo Offer.
We look a little better today, don't we?
Hope so.
Aha. Yes, Sirski, that's good lighting. Okay, we were down for a few
episodes.
That's
why you meant. I was really so confused. I was like, my hairline's busted. I got some pimples popping off now.
No, for sure. I definitely need to get a haircut this week, boy. And your hairline definitely looks like donate 30 cents a day to save a child.
But it's
we
all good.
We good.
It's
no worries.
Tomorrow we're getting it fixed.
Bro, how you feeling though? How you living? How's your past week, man?
Trials and tribulations, my nigga.
Ooh.
Trials and tribulations.
Talk about it.
I don't know, man. Honestly, I feel like I'm somebody who always tries to see the brighter side of life and always tries to... Okay, so we used to have... I might have said this before, but we used to have this assistant... Was it the assistant principal? Was it Lombard or Pluchet?
It was Lombard.
Okay, so it was our principal. Yeah, so we used to have this principal back in middle school who used to always say on the morning announcements at the end of it, make it a great day or not, the choice is yours, right?
I still say that to niggas, bro. I'm 27.
And, bro, I say it all the time. You know? Like, at the end of the day, because I firmly believe it, at least for myself. So that's how I try and operate. But the world doesn't always let you have a good day, you know? And so, like, you could always try to, but the world doesn't always make it easy to. I should say that.
Talk about it, King.
And so... Thank you. I've been having a rough week. It's been a lot of rough days. I've been tried by not just my demons. I've been tried by the world's demons, you know. I've been tried by everybody. And it's just like, it's testing, but...
The projection crew came for you this week, too.
We'll talk about people projecting, man, eventually. But honestly, it's just nice, though, because it's nice to know that no matter all the shit I was going through, having a good support system in my brother and my sister, shouts out to Tjay and Uzama, and my mother as well, that... being able to have bad things happen to you, but know that you're going to be all right from the comfort they provide, as well as knowing that bad shit only happens when you're about to go up. You know what I'm saying? Life's a whole lot of ups and downs. And if I've been on a down, I know that up's coming soon.
And you know what I sniff?
It's been good.
How we're about to look this summer, man. Y'all stay tuned. Like, when the creative castle comes together, no bullshit. Like, obviously, God willing, like, we don't know exact dates yet. We're shooting for early summer, but we'll see when it comes. So I'm not going to make any promises. But when this creative castle comes, the joy I feel, regardless of what level we elevate to, because we're just always going to keep elevating. That's just always a goal in life. But whether it be together or independently, like, that's just what we look forward to. It's just like, I'm going to speak about myself for 2 seconds. Great week. Felt great. Had some bullshit happen, but life moves on. And that's the wave I've been on. Just kind of keep it pushing and like figure out my shit. So I know that wasn't enough of a roundup as before, but I wanted to get more into this shit. Like, when it comes to my excitement, it's because, bro, like we talked about earlier, I was blessed to be born with 3 best friends, like when it comes to my siblings. And so growing up, like we grew up with each other, obviously lived in the same household. We didn't really see eye to eye. And a lot of people don't realize this when it comes to my siblings. Like, we talked about this in like one of in the family episode when we had both siblings on there, but like Esgo annoyed my ass until like I was like really late teens. Like, my youngest sister Uzama, like I thought she was like honestly might be the biggest bitch on the planet. Like I thought Chi Chi.
She might have been for a bit,
no,
though,
for
too,
sure. No, she was working on it. She was working on it. Chi Chi, I thought was the biggest
asshole
that ever. No, I thought Chi Chi was my born in op. No cap. Like, I thought God gave me an op. Like, I had somebody.
Don't take this from me.
No, I know Chi Chi's my op. But it's just like, dog, the older I got and the more I matured, because really a lot of the shit I was feeling was problems with me. We all had shit we had to heal from, don't get me wrong, but majority of it was on my side. Was the closer we got and the better our relationships have gotten, to the point now I truly believe there's nothing on this planet that can separate us siblings. Truly. Like, I think we've just gone through too much together. You know what I'm saying? We've seen too much. We've just dealt with too much. And so now in adulthood, I've never had the opportunity to live with my brother. Yeah, this nigga be out on our couch half the days, or like sometimes be up and down here. Bro. We used to. Like,
no, just getting over summer, bro. I was cool.
But it's like, not. But the fact that it's just gonna be us two, and obviously we'd love my brother DJ to be a part of it too, of course, but situations separate, and he's got his journey that he's got to go on, that we're going to be there 100% to support as well too. But it's like just us two having our own crib together, kind of leading into our real lives, you know, because after this crib, it's whatever we end up buying, or the people we end up being with, or the places we end up living, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is kind of like the final hoorah with a sibling, and I'm so happy that God gave me the opportunity that we're going to be able to do this shit, especially with somebody that has interests similar to mine, when it comes to creativity. So we've already kind of coined it the creative castle. Like we're gonna pictures, videos.
I'm not saying it's nice because it's
music,
not
like whatever
just
the fuck.
Creative interests that are similar. Because while we do, like, we have a joint venture together. Y'all are listening to our podcast. We do this together. You know, we also both really are passionate about music, and we talk about it in our podcast. But like, it's the side thing too that get to come together. Because I know you don't give a shit like that about the videography side of things. You know, I'm starting to get more into that myself and photography.
I wish.
But there's things that you like a lot that I'm really not like that OD about. I used to really enjoy drawing and stuff, but I could give a shit about it now. Like, people who do, that's dope to me. I love that. It's just not for me. I can appreciate it though.
So we'll each have our own
come together,
separate spaces. We'll have space to come together, and we'll have a support system that's built in. Because at the end of the day, like, me and this nigga have had moments. I'll at least speak for myself personally, where I've really wanted to blow this nigga's head off. You know what I'm saying? Like, when it comes to fighting, like, kind of shit.
You know, and if that's how you felt, that's fine. Because at the end of the day, for me to fight, because y'all don't understand, I gotta run the numbers sometimes on our age, but you're like 3.5 years older than me, right? Does that sound right? 2.5 or 3.5?
3.5,
something like
older.
that. So he's that much older than me. And for me, and you know how that is when you're growing up too. Like, you don't settle into your bodies now
until you're in your 20s.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like, now I'm closer to like his size and shit. I'm still smaller, but when I was younger, I was a lot smaller. For me to be at the point where I was really ready at all times to just fight my brother, you had to know where I was too, because I was like, I couldn't stand this. Like, I knew I was gonna lose, and I still would square up.
Bro, I was the number one dick that you, Uzama, and Chichi have ever met in your lives, and y'all had to live with him too. Like, I get it. Like, I did a lot of growing up. We all did, truly. But I'm just happy that through everything, we're always gonna have each other, and we're gonna have a building in which we'll be able to culminate and like kind of just invest in and grow whatever interests we have for the future. So I'm excited to also, whatever the fuck comes out of that we get to share with y'all. So soon come. But moving right along, heat check time. I'm going to start us off this week. My heat check happens to be a song called Headshot with 3 Young Goats on it. In all honesty, the reason it's titled to be all 3 of their songs. So I'm not saying it's anybody featuring anybody, but honestly, the reason it's my heat check is Polo G blacked out. Like, everybody else did well, but Polo G is definitely rising up.
He's one of them.
He's definitely one of the young niggas that I'm stoked for what they've got going on in this world and like the music that they have to put out. So shouts out to Lil Tjay, Polo G, and Fivio Foreign on the song Headshot.
Man, shouts out to that, for real. That's a solid heat check. My heat check for this week actually comes from Saba, just him, no features. And the song's called Ziplock. It popped up a little release radar on Spotify. Shouts out. That was nice. Because this man, I feel like he's one of those underappreciated artists in the mainstream, because not everyone will have heard of him, but the people that do, I feel like they rarely have a negative opinion on him, because he makes quality music. And like, on this song especially, just this man, he's always rapping his ass off. So I just appreciate it in the artistry, and it was definitely nice to just vibe out to and listen. So shout out to Ziplock by Saba.
So Headshot and Ziplock, just one word?
Yeah.
For the people? All right, Ziplock, Saba. And then moving right along to just music for this week, true. Mm-hmm. Like, I wanted to highlight that I didn't listen to entirely, but definitely want to highlight just because of all the raving reviews I've heard. It's an artist that you put me on to.
And you got the heat check out there.
Yes, for a few weeks ago. Joyce Rice put out a project, Overgrown, which I've heard is outstanding. Like, I've heard nothing but positive reviews that it's incredible. I've listened to a few songs on here, Go Stupid, the ones I listened to. Mm-hmm. So
if you don't even know what kind of music she makes, because if you haven't heard her before, but you look at those features and you're like, okay, you can kind of gauge what she makes, and you know it's gonna be fire.
Bro, anytime a human being has Masego, extremely talented of a human, K Tronada, and Freddie Gibbs, Lucky Day, Westside Gunn on the same project. These are all creative geniuses. Like, it's gonna be good music. You know what I'm saying? Like, I see why you chose the people you chose. Exactly. So I'm excited to listen to the whole project front to finish. The plugs I met too, Benny the Butcher and Harry Fraud, released. Y'all have heard countless times how I feel about Harry, countless times how I feel about Benny. It was exactly what was expected. So definitely go check that one out. A standout track on that song for me personally was either Thanksgiving, which is the final track, or When Tony Met Sosa, which is the starting track.
Nah, that's way too cold of a name.
Yes, sir.
100%.
When Tony Met Sosa, stop it, bro. Benny's at it again. Yeah. And then This reason, by the way, that I'm running through these, this is how I enjoy kind of breaking down the new music each week. I think that is the new format I'm going to run down, because I don't think you need an in-depth talk unless it was like a hot topic point for the week for us personally.
Or unless like we both really were just like felt a type of way. Yeah, like you're saying.
Because I don't want to exclude either of us. And B, we're trying something different this episode. I have fewer topics, but they're more open discussion, right? And it wasn't saying last week was a dead week. There were just so many things that we thought were very important that we wanted to speak to the people about. So continuing on with that, Guap Dad and Ill Mind dropped a project called 1176, which was good. And Justin Bieber dropped a project, which was also pretty fucking good. I fucked with the Justin Bieber project. The song I loved the most was Peaches, but everybody fucking
that was the one
Peaches.
That was kind of getting pushed, and for good reason, because he has...
I got my peaches out in Georgia.
3 great voices on it.
Oh my goodness.
So
I know he tried to make people care about Daniel Caesar again, but I still was only excited to hear Justin's voice saying Giveon. But Daniel
I was about to say, man, I was probably most excited to hear Giveon.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like Giveon was for sure the one I was excited to hear after Justin. But and then finally another track was dropped off of Dumb and Dumber 2 by Young Dolph and Keylock, which is a follow-up to Dumb and Dumber, their last project together. One, I just love the consistency that Key Glock and Young Dolph have together, and just seeing I love seeing the chemistry that they have together. Let me change that. Because of the level of consistency they release, there's nothing really to speak about. It's just exactly on par for what I was expecting. Nothing that really blew my head off, but nothing that really blew my head off so far, but everything's been good. It's kind of like when you set a high bar for yourself, that's what people are going to expect, obviously. And so that's it for music. Moving right into the thick of it. We're going to start the convos for this week with the first conversation is stemming off of music. And we're going to start it off a little jokey at first.
Yeah.
Did you hear?
Did I hear what?
Real love might be dead, y'all.
Okay.
Real love might be dead, y'all.
Why is it dead, bro?
Honestly, this kind of shit gets me choked up to speak about. Like, it's a little difficult to talk about sometimes. On God,
cut the cameras.
On God,
cut the camera.
Like,
cut the fucking cameras.
Like, Saweetie and Quavo broke up, bro. I thought they were together forever. I thought that.
This was it.
I thought that was
Infinity X.
I thought it was Infinity and Beyond.
Oh my god!
Shouts out to a real nigga.
That's tough.
But I will say,
this man shouted out Buzz Lightyear as a real nigga. By the way, I want y'all to know that. I want y'all. If no one caught that, he shot out Buzz Lightyear as a real nigga. Keep that in mind.
One, I want to start. I usually joke on Esgo about being too serious about certain things, but I definitely want to start this one off serious before getting into the jokes, because I know how sensitive people are, and I want it to be taken sensitively. One, at the end of the day, yes, I'm about to get my shit off for sure, but this is people's real life, like for sure people's real life. So like first and foremost, we want to hope for, like, we know. At least I'll say I know personally, like, you can tell when a woman has gotten to that point. Saweetie has definitely gotten to that. I'm beyond this point. You know what I'm saying? And when women get to that point, there's really no recovery. Like,
to be fair, bro, you could say you could tell, but like, being in that relationship.
No, that's why I'm trying to preface all of this and saying it seems like she's just over it. It seems like that nigga is on his like, man, fuck bitches shit, bro. He already asked for his Range Rover. Oh no, his own Rolls back or Bentley truck, whatever. Cool. He's been doing the petty thing, taking his stuff back. I get it, but it's like, all I hope for is A, the success of both of them, B, healing for both of them, of course, because I know a lot of people don't think that empathy has a tax bracket. Like, you can only empathize with people that are broke. You can only empathize with people. No, these are still human beings.
They get their heart broken, just like the rest of us.
Get their heart broken and go through relationship drama and stuff like that. And honestly, wish the best for both of them. But that also being said, this nigga Quavo, definitely you could tell he doesn't learn from his niggas, bro, because if he followed Offset's brand, well, this nigga Offset tweeted, yo, balls in my mouth, I'm like blah blah blah, and then had his girl back within 24 hours, bro, and then even tweeted out I won on his Instagram story. I'm not gonna lie to you, the Quavo shit just instantly told me like what level of GOAT Offset is, because that nigga Offset different,
the finesse level is different there, bro. And to be honest, it's just like I'm not gonna say nothing about Cardi B for getting back with him. I'm not
nothing at all,
about
that's
anybody in the
business, bro. I'm never gonna talk about somebody from doing something
jack shit about what they did because
I don't know these people.
Also, too, it's kind of crazy. You know, it's very.
That's something that I wish that people would admit.
No. Hear me.
We don't know these people. These are jokes.
And these are jokes. And to be fair, I'm not gonna condemn people for being any level of invested. Too invested, yes, but like a base level, I'm not gonna condemn people or be on like, oh, y'all give a shit, but whatever. Because at the end of the day, if we're just looking at like a base model of how society operates, niggas go to work for 40 hours a week, they come back, they bullshit, they tune into like the media, they try and have fun with friends, and then they go back to it. And a lot of things that keep some people entertained. I know for me, the NBA is probably a pillar of my mental health.
Nigga,
you know?
Remember the spooky season, bro? That like little while without NBA basketball last year, bro. Cut off, bro. Me and you were looking scary, bro. We were low-key looking scary when we were sitting down at our computer. And I was like, bro, what are we to do?
People see how invested I am in that, and I bet they're probably thinking the same shit. Like, it's not that deep. And to me, it is. But for other people, they're probably looking at like these celebrity shits and thinking it is that deep. So
all jokes
if that's
aside,
what gets you entertainment, get your shit off, man.
Because we do have the empathy card with the real human side.
But don't be hard on them. If you're like, oh damn, that's crazy or whatever, that's fine. But like, don't be like, oh, this guy's a piece of shit or she's a piece of shit or whatever. You don't know these because at the end of the day, you don't know them.
You truly don't know the reality of the situation. You don't know these people. That's why I know like this is a conversation for another time. But I've never blamed a woman with getting back with somebody after cheating. Like not once. No. I haven't blamed a woman because one, I've never been in that psychological place. Just being real.
I was about to say that too.
And B, it's just. I've been cheated on, so I want to be honest with that there, but I didn't get back with the person. But it's like, two, I've never seen like there's a psychological factor that goes there. There's a whole fucking family behind it. You know what I'm saying? This person really, as much as people hate the argument that's given to men sometimes, like it really might have been nothing, you know what I'm saying? Like to them, and they may have an understanding. Like you don't know the inner workings of the relationship is all I'm saying. To where people need to stop talking about these people when you don't know what's up. But anyways, my main conversation I wanted to take for this, and the main thing I wanted to ask you is, do you think it's petty on a scale of 1 to 10, or just like you personally, no matter how much you spend on the gift, because a Bentley truck is expensive, are you taking anything back after you've broken up with somebody like that you've given them? We've never been in the place where I've spent 6 figures on honest, a gift. Let's be real.
Remember when I started with shouting out some of those prices of my shit when we were talking on my keyboard?
Yeah.
For a second, I was like, bro, honest to God, the way my situation was looking at the time, I was like, I might take it up. And it's like no harm, no foul to you, but this... I might need this right now. So, but honestly, like, I'm a man at the end of the day. We're not speaking
about Quavo and Saweetie anymore.
I'm talking about me.
He's talking about his own shit.
I'm a man at the end of the day. And for me, being a man means standing on your decisions, standing on your 10. If I gave you something, I gave you something. Like, that's not mine anymore. And so you could do it that way you will. I'm never going to be like, just because things went bad or things didn't end up how I wanted, I'm never going to be like, I need that back because you're not mine. This was only yours if you're mine. No, I gave you this because I loved you. I gave you this because I appreciated you. I gave you this because I wanted you to have this.
I'm actually going to live post that question. Keep speaking, but on the Offspace Twitter, on the Offspace Instagram.
Yeah. And so, I don't know, man. That's just something that I hold important to me because and that's also what makes gift giving, I feel like, more special for me because I know this is something I'm giving to you with just out of love. Not because I'm trying to impress you, not because of whatever, because I genuinely want you to have that. So I know there are people though that will take back the little things, you know, not even like big gifts. They'll take back the little things. And I'm just like, you know, if you really wanted that person or if you're trying to get back with them, the shit that you're doing, like, that's not going to help you. So what are you doing that out of? You know, a lot of times it's out of anger, it's out of pain. It's out of all these things that the people are taking these gifts back. If you really need some of that back because, like, you know, the repo man's at your door.
He sent the repo man to Saweetie. Like, just speaking about their situation for 2 seconds.
On your own.
Ain't that crazy?
No, like, that's kind of crazy.
Bro, I mean, to be honest, I like the way you put it eloquently, which kind of skirts us off of this conversation. We'll move on in a second. But I just wanted to touch base and just say that I agree completely. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I've definitely been in moments where I've given someone something relatively expensive and then we've broken up, we've this, we've that. And then I've just sat back like, damn, nigga, I wish I had that X $100 or this blah 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 or this blah blah blah. But like, at least the way we were raised, like, mom's, like, I'll at least say from mom especially, like, how she's kind of put it into us is, she tried to get us to never take things from people, right? Yeah. But we obviously realized that was just like a mechanism that they were taught. We need to be smarter with that, of course, but that's not all the way true. But like, one thing that I did hold true was always stand on your decision. Yeah. And mom, like, always nailed into us that if you give someone something, it is no longer yours. You no longer have any type of, like, I don't care what you did to it, you gave it away. You know what I'm saying? And so it is up to that person to do as they please. And so
it's like saying you're going to do something and then not doing it.
Exactly.
Or saying you are going to do something and then, like, you know, whatever. That shit doesn't feel right with me.
Like in a relationship, bro, like I've never once, after breaking up with someone, not once, texted asking for something. Or no, I lied.
I've taken a gift back once.
I've only taken something back once ever, and it's because we broke up the day after I gave it to them, and they were waiting for that day so that I can give them something, so that
they can cash out,
so that we can have the conversation the next day because they knew we wanted to break up.
That's crazy.
Like they even kind of mentioned all of this on the low, like accidentally brought that up to me the next day because it was shorty I worked with, and I didn't even like her like this. Like to be real, like it was somebody that was just like hot girl we worked with. You know who I'm talking about, right? That I thought I was like that nigga. We're gonna get into some male ego shit, but I thought I was that nigga. Like one, which this is a conversation for a whole nother day. But a lot of us men and women too, like let's be very clear. I've seen women do this, and I've seen women do this with me, as much as some women don't want to admit it or not. But a lot of men sometimes are dating somebody for the idea of the prize, not necessarily because they like them.
Because they like
me, like that relationship. Just speaking of that person, it's like, bruh, I was 19 or I was 19, I think, or something like that. I was 19. She was like a few months older than me. And like she was literally the only hot girl that worked at the place I worked at. And all the dudes would talk about, like, in the most, like, male, creepy way, just being honest. Oh, my, her ass is so fat. Oh, my God, she's so nice. Oh, my God, she's sexy. And then my head, the little ego, like, king of the jungle shit was like, oh, me chuka, me see, hot girl, me take. You know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta take it because everybody else wants it. I got that situation, blah, blah, blah. But anyways, moving on from that.
No, I gotta say my own, though, because at the end of the day, I did say I took back a gift one time. It wasn't to a significant other. This was just in general. So me taking back my gift, the only time I did it was because the person I took it back from went back on their word in a situation that costed me hundreds of dollars. And I was so disappointed in them for it that I was like, honestly, fuck them. And I'm taking my shit back. And it was just, I did it out of anger, too, out of that time, which is kind of sad on my own. I should have been better than that. To show, like, you know, even though you hurt me, I'm not gonna hurt you too. I'm gonna,
but be better, it's just something that I'm still a human being too. I've noticed with us too, which I'm gonna use this opportunity to move us into the next thing. But it's something I've definitely noticed with us in general. Like, word matters a lot to us, like for sure, a lot. And it's not just like what you say; it's your actions too. It's don't lie to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't lie to me. There's no reason to lie to me. I'm an adult, and I think I have a higher emotional intelligence level than most people, at least my age group on this planet. I'm very understanding. I promise you I'm very understanding. But a lot of the times people feel too scared to have certain conversations, right? And so, like, the easiest defense mechanism will be to lie or will be to say something, will be to that. And I'm the type of person that the second I catch, like, bro, the shorty that cheated on me, right? I was 19 as well, maybe 20. Like, it was about that. That was a weird period for me. But anyway, the shorty that cheated on me, dog, I'm so cool with at this day. You know what I'm so cool with to this day. Because it was some weird moments, and it was weird in that, like, time for me. Yes. Yeah. But it's like we had that conversation later. You know what I'm saying? And we kept it pushing because at the end of the day, I understand shit happens. Yeah. I understand shit happens. I'm never going to be with her. Like, I never wanted to date her or anything, but I'm not mad at her. We've been moved on. Like, shorty still comments on my story. She's married now. She's dope. Enjoying her life. Like, whatever, bro. Like, I'm so proud. I'm so happy for her. But it's like, that's the one of my biggest pet peeves. But moving right along to the next topic. I wanted to just mention this, which we don't have to go in a deep dive. It's just that Putin challenged Biden to a live debate.
Need it.
And low-key, I want to see it. Only because, like, yes, like, niggas are...
That might be the most Gen Z thing to say. Like, you know, this could affect the state of the world, all this. Like, I know, but I'm trying to see it. Low-key, that's hype.
Shit, nigga. You know what I'm saying?
That's good TV.
And that nigga Putin might be drip god, bro. I don't care what y'all niggas is going to get mad at me. But that sheepskin outfit, bro, that was drip Skylark, nigga. That nigga was
This man really stepped out like an Eskimo on some culture.
Like, that nigga looked like an ice climber, bro. That shit cold, bro. That shit hard as hell.
Like an ice climber.
I love that. I need.
Imagine though, it's kind of crazy because imagine if they really made something like that happen. Honest to God, after last year, I'm not putting anything out of my mind as a possibility of shit that could happen in real life.
Bro, nothing could surprise me on this planet. We had The Apprentice as president. You know what I'm saying? For the rest of my life, nothing will ever surprise me. I'm sorry.
I saw Brian Kemp campaign for a position, and his whole stance and his in a commercial, bro, in that video talking about he was about to round up illegals and blew his shit up and all this,
bro. And
like what?
And the people loved it.
The explosions,
like the Southerners.
This nigga thought he was Michael Bay.
Like, and bro, this nigga Michael Bay, a commercial about him saying he hates Latin people. And he wants to do-si-do round him up and hog tie him. And motherfuckers were like, let's vote for this guy. Like, trust me, y'all can't surprise me no more. And so that's all I had to say there. I was going to go on a bit of a deep dive, but to be quite honest, those are at least one of those names is somebody that I don't like speaking about.
Yeah, no, I feel like at that point, that's kind of cool. We said enough.
So we move on. And next combo, which I'm going to break down the combo and then I'm going to get your thoughts because I had, once again, another question based on this one. But there was, Kylie Jenner went crazy in the media this week.
Yeah. She does every week, it feels like.
For sure. It feels like every single week. But she was trending for 48 hours straight. Like top of the U.S. trends on Twitter because of the fact that a lot of people said her makeup artist needed $60,000 for a surgery. And they looked at the GoFundMe. Kylie donated $5,000 and she shared the GoFundMe, right? And so that looked to people like a billionaire, Kylie Jenner, wouldn't just pony up $60,000 when she makes $450,000 a day, apparently, like when they broke down the numbers, whatever, and she couldn't give $60,000. Let me start this by saying, no, I'm not even gonna get there because people are gonna be upset and something else. But I was gonna break down the reality of the situation.
Oh, you were gonna say that?
No, just the other side of it.
Yeah, okay.
One, which, yes, definitely looks fishy, especially if that's your makeup artist, that's your best friend that's to do this. But once again, like I try to tell people all the time is
look into it though, if you don't know.
Look into it. We don't have all the information and you don't fucking know these people, bro. Like y'all gotta remember y'all don't know these people. Y'all act like a certain tax bracket means save the world, bro. Like y'all act like the second your salary goes from 6 figures, because you'd be so happy for the 6-figure niggas, right? But the second your shit turns to 7, empathy is gone. You know what I'm saying? The second you're a millionaire, there's no empathy anymore on this planet, and people can't just like sit and wait for information for a situation. Because it came out like Kylie finally came up and stepped for herself, and I'm nigga, I'm a black man. I've seen what that family all you've seen with the Kardashians and whatever the fuck with black people. I'm not gonna be the first person that's willingly fucking defending Kylie Jenner or defending Kim Kardashian or any of those people. But the reason I step up and feel like I need to talk sometimes is because of just seeing how jaded some of this world has become when it comes to tax brackets. Because like, bro, Kylie even came out the next day and she broke it down. She said, look, this is somebody that I've used like once or twice a few years ago. She said she had no personal relationship with this person. Like, she really wasn't friends with this dude. This dude just happened to be friends with, one of her makeup artists, right? And so, being friends with one of her makeup artists, she thought, yo, let me go to the GoFundMe, which the goal initially was $10,000. They raised $5,000, so she matched the $5,000 and they met the goal. And then she shared it, because if you know how GoFundMe works, you'll get excess and then you can just keep the excess, right? They don't cap how much you earn. So she's like, maybe it'll just help the family, blah, blah, blah. But a bunch of people instantly made this like, oh, your best friend, personal assistant, makeup artist is this. Bro.
I think the person rose it to like $60K though or something.
Rose it to 60 after.
So it doesn't, so under my, I think in my knowledge, it shows the prior donations. So like if they rose the cap at that point, it looks like, damn, the goal was $50K the whole time and you only got like $5K from this person. That's kind of crazy, right? And so I think that's what people were getting hung up on. But at the same time, it's like, if you're willing to put that much effort into like, I guess, scrutinizing the contributions of an individual to help another person instead of realizing that you're so far disconnected from their whole world and like those two's relationship, to where your opinion on that doesn't matter at the end of the day. And like the amount of energy put into scrutinizing that, you got to go put into helping your own communities, because a lot of people get so hung up on what's right and what's wrong about what people are doing on their day-to-day but are never helping people. So I'm like, how can you be the judge, jury, and like whatever, an executioner, but y'all aren't even doing the groundwork in your own space?
Bro, and exactly, it's just kind of it's kind of pisses me off a lot, because I saw this a lot with the Cardi B situation too in the last few weeks, just because of Up is ranked so high now and is doing so well, and so people are bringing up WAP again because WAP is still doing well, still doing numbers, blah blah blah. So all the conservative media is tripping like, oh my god, look at this song that is teaching our kids this, blah 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 blah. One, you don't fucking know this person. Two, let's just bring it up. Two, like, Cardi B even has a video of wet ass pussy coming on and fucking her own daughter being in the room and her running back there and turning the song off because her daughter was in the room. So if the person that made the song can go fucking turn the TV off, because people were tripping about the Grammy performance, but the reason I tied into the Kylie shit is because of the fact that motherfuckers assume that when you get to a certain tax bracket, it's just your responsibility to save the world. Just being very clear, right? But B,
I hope these people are doing their best to really get back though. I will say that. I really do hope these people are doing their best
110%
to make sure that when you have that much money and that many resources, like, you are using some level of empathy and sympathy to help the world around you. But I'm not going to tell you how to do that.
But it's not even just that, bro. I'm not going to tell you how to do that. B, especially when the Kylie situation, especially when it comes to Cardi, especially because of this, it comes to that. Like, bro, these aren't people that sign up to be role models. These aren't people that sign up to be like the leaders of the world. Like, bro, me and you want to be more role models than Cardi probably does, than Kylie probably does. They just happen to be huge. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are people that just happen to become big because of circumstance and like going and grinding and like doing whatever they did, families, like whatever y'all want to attach it to. Yes, I believe they should be doing a lot more personally, myself. But guess what? I can't hold that standard to those people if I'm not working hard myself, because you have to have a standard that you hold to yourself too, because so many people freaked out on Kylie before knowing all of this information, because y'all hold this 22-year-old, this fucking 22-year-old that has a lot of money to a higher standard than you hold yourself. If your friend called you right now, like, just being clear with Ezgo, because he called one of his homies, he was setting something up.
No, because like this was how it started, bro. I was sitting there and I was on my drive up to do the podcast here actually, right? And so in my head I'm thinking, man, so much good grace I've been shown by my family and all these people and this, that, and the third. I want to give back in some way and like obviously try and help just someone outside of my community. Because I was listening to I Am Athlete too, and they're always talking about helping the community, this, that, and the third. And so I thought I wanted to make some food and just kind of pass it out on like a low scale to like the homeless, coming up here soon, like in a few days. And so I was going through and I was like, who can I call to do this with me? And so it's kind of sad though, because I know a lot of good people. But I don't know a lot of people that would do that. You know, and the fact that I don't know a lot of people who would do that. I called one person and instantly he said, yeah, if he doesn't have to work that day, he's down. But the fact that I don't know a lot of people that are willing to give, like, do the groundwork and give those things when you don't have money. So like the only thing that you can give, you're not willing to give. It's tough, man. It's tough to hear those pieces. It's tough to hear people after that complain about others not helping, because it's like, what are you doing though?
Exactly.
But as soon as you do start helping, then I'm like, shit. If you tell me something, because the people that do help are never really complaining about others not
because
helping,
they're out actually doing it though.
That's what I've kind of noticed too.
It's just like when it comes to Cardi, when it comes to Kylie, when it comes to all of these people, bro. Like, one thing I need to say is, A, y'all need to remember when it comes to these celebrities, y'all don't fucking know these people. B, you need to realize that you need to get full information before you go write a whole fucking think piece out, you know, about a situation, once again, that you don't know. But C, hold yourself to a gold standard before you hold other people to a gold standard. If you're a close homie, like an Ezgo or something like that, right now called you, a lot of y'all are gonna cap, and let's just be honest. Like, think about your busy ass weekly schedules. Nigga, I'm busy as hell. I told Ezgo no first. Let's be real. like, cause he's been asking me about this shit. And I know I sound like a dick, but I'm just being honest. We want to plan Offspace giveaways and things like that. And we want to plan like food service and like so much Offspace charity future forward.
Sometimes we take too much on our plate.
I am a 27-year-old that is busy as hell with my own life right now, and I selfishly never make time in my schedule, which is very possible to make time to go to a soup kitchen, to go do these little donations. This nigga Ezgo be trying to do this kind of stuff, but y'all see motherfuckers that can't even hold themselves to such a little standard like that if somebody were to call, that are gonna have these Kylies, these Cardis, these all of these celebrities, whatever, as the people they go to and attack and vindicate so much in the media, when they can't even do the bare minimum themselves in real life. That's all I'm asking, is for y'all to hold yourselves to a higher standard, because you can be all those people. Cardi believed she could be Cardi B. That's why she is. Kylie was born into this family, I get it, but she believed she could be Kylie. It's how she is, like, bro.
And she, but at the end of the day, she was definitely. I'm not gonna ever sugarcoat that. She was born into money for real.
For sure.
But she also did believe that she could probably be the person that is close to a billionaire. I'm not even gonna give her the billionaire title. Forbes, bro, do we give a shit what Forbes says though? Because they stripped Kanye of that shit when Kanye
now it's worth
6.6. Yeah, it's like, are they even the authority anymore if niggas don't want to be real?
Nah.
If they don't want to be real about it.
But
I just want to say one thing before we move on.
Because I have one more discussion.
Essentially, the biggest thing here that we all need to take, that I took out of it, and you probably, if you're black, I know you heard it from your mom, I know you heard it from somebody, is charity begins at home, man. Mm-hmm. And so take that, live on it, and keep going.
Amen. And this last section is about to be a little bit, it's going to be a little bit weird for sure, but it's going to be, we pride ourselves on being real, so we're here to be real. Recently, a David Dobrik situation has come out. I'm not going to break down the whole situation and from all of my studying and understanding. And really, as you could tell, we are two people, if you can't tell, that really don't care that much about that human being and like the things going on with him. But
we care about the situation. Him as the individual, personally, I've never really cared that much about like what's going on day to day David Dobrik's life. That's not my concerns.
But the subject matter was too important for us to skip over this time. So we're going to. There's rumors and allegedly we believe victims for sure, and all fingers are pointing one certain type of way, but we are not going to say that for sure. But allegedly, at least from what we've seen, it looks like he was complicit. It wasn't maybe in the action, what was complicit to a woman getting taken advantage of in his own surroundings, provided alcohol to underage girls, all this kind of things. We're moving on from there. The reason we're moving on from there is because of not having all the information right in front of us, but because we wanted to use this as an opportunity, as a teachable moment to kind of bare our souls a little bit, and also just talk about men. Really, just talk about men in general and like how we were brought up, how the world kind of treats us, and like why we kind of think certain things are okay, and not justifying any of these things, but being real. And
because I think this conversation is important because it was kind of spurred. It's important to talk on it from this, but it was kind of spurred from a conversation me and a homie had the other day. Because I've been seeing a lot of talks on, because we're not gonna act like it's not a big issue that's constantly being addressed. The harassment of women by men and things like that, and the sexual nature. But I've seen two sides to, because I'm always somebody who I hate talking about a problem without talking about a fix. And I've seen a few things, and one was just like, we need to better protect the women in our society from shit like this. And that was kind of where I was before, and like what I've tried to do. Then I realized after just listening to the women that I know on this situation, and just that I've heard on the internet shit, talk about how like it's less like we want you to protect us because no one really wants to feel like they have to have a protector. It's just stop doing that shit. And I was like, damn, that's true. Okay, but like, how do you stop doing this when I don't even know how it starts? So then we started thinking about this, and like this whole thing kind of stemmed of like how society kind of, to keep it a buck, bro, society kind of breeds these. I don't want to say like breeds because I don't feel like that's the right word. But society breeds the behaviors.
Society breeds, at least from like, we will say, because I don't want to, since this is a touchy subject for sure. So we're finding the best words, of course, and we're trying to speak our truths and bare our souls when it comes to it. But I mean, like, society coddles men. We have to.
Society's not the best word. I would say that, to be honest, I want to say this before you go on. I want to say, to be honest, and I know some people are going to crucify me, but to be fair, I don't give a fuck, because if you're crucifying me on this, you're not hearing the point of it. The patriarchy kind of breeds these kind of behaviors and keeps it going. And to be honest, I'm starting to see that shit and like understand it. And we as men need to do a better job of educating our young men and our youth about how not to do.
And I think we need to take a step back, because it's good that you identify the term patriarchy. But when patriarchy is such an embedded part of our society, we can say society. Because patriarchy is almost one-to-one with how our society is carried out right now. To the point that there are so many people that I consider good, mature people nowadays that still have some tendencies that you're just like, damn, bro. Like, I thought you would have grown out of something like that. Like, I thought you would have this, I thought you would have that. But it's a learning process because of how we've been taught and what we've seen. And I'm going to use an example for myself. And yes, hopefully, like, it is what it is here. Just because people are going to take whatever they want to take from situations, I'm here just to show people, because I get used as an example so much by women as like a perfect man in certain senses, or just like I wish more dudes thought like you. I wish more dudes talked like you. I wish more dudes acted like you around women, made us feel this comfortable, made us feel this, that. Bruh, the reason, and I try so hard to tell women, especially, that I was just as bad as them at a point, and the reason that I became the person I am today is because at an earlier age than most, and I blame this on one of the first superhero I ever had in my life being my mom, and my sisters being two strong women. But it's just like I had strong women that were important to me in my life. Not every male is afforded that opportunity, you know what I'm saying? And I've always been someone that women fucked with, at least to some capacity.
And they'll hold you accountable.
It switched randomly in high school from like funny to sexy, don't get me wrong, but like women have always fucked with me to some level. So I mean, just that comfort there, I was able to get the tea, quote unquote, earlier to hear some of this fuck shit,
and to correct these behaviors that you're being taught to do.
But I'm gonna just put myself on blast because this is the last instance that I can remember, right? And truly, like, people will kill me if people want to kill me, but there were two of my homegirls, right? Like two of my friends, which I apologize to both of them. We've already spoken about this, and it's still something that fucks with me, especially because I'm one of the few men I know that is happy to speak about and admit the fact that I have been like touched inappropriately, right? Like but it was by women and they were my age mates, don't get me wrong, but it's just like I didn't ask for it. It just kind of happened at a point, and I felt weird about it, but the world teaches us, because there is a reverse here too when it comes to men and women, where they kind of just taught me. Well, I was just kind of told by other dudes like, girls grab your shit, blah blah blah, or they whipped this out, or they did that, blah blah. That's cool, bro. This that, because we get told that any interaction with women is positive because you're that dude. You're once again
Tarzan, that shit king fake, bro. I'm doing something after you.
That's fake. But anyways, like I will talk about it. Like, you see a lot of behavior that I thought was weird behavior that was kind of normal. Like, whether it be like 18 and being on spring breaks and seeing dudes literally just snatch girls out, or pulling shirts down, or little things like that. Bro, the last instance I remember for myself, since I'm not being around the bush, I just want to tell people because I have to be real. The last thing it fucked me up, bro, for weeks afterwards. I had to talk to both of these women, which I'm still friends with to this day, but I was a part of this little friend group. We went out. Me and one of the homies, apparently I wasn't the only one, which is not justifying it, but it's just like we were like blackout drunk, and like we were out, and our homegirls, they had like these booty shorts on, or like these jean shorts, and we just walk around the corner and boop, just like grab ass, boop, just like grab ass, boop, just like grab ass, because they were girls we thought were cute, and like we didn't like try anything. Like, I'm sure both of us were probably hopeful that something would happen, like boom boom boom, but they were part of the friend group, so they were off limits kind of thing, so it was just like playful fun in my eyes. But then like once I think one of the males in the group brought it up the next day, like, haha, you were grabbing so and so's ass all night. I was like, what?
You're like, really?
I was like, excuse me? Like, I felt uncomfortable even hearing that. And then the first thing I did was text both shorties, because like it was two parties involved. One remembered, one didn't. Like, we had real conversation, real apologies, like talked it out and kind of moved on from there. Still good friends with both of those people to this day. And I know a lot of people are going to consider that minor in the totem pole, I guess, of like things that happen, but still,
that shit's not
still
though.
That's
but
not.
I get you.
Little micro, like, that's what I'm saying. As men, we have to start identifying that shit's not.
It's
like,
not, because it leads to other
little
shit.
microaggressions like that. Like, we talk as black people, right? The little like, oh, it's your hair, nose, blah blah. Yeah. Those small things lead to an environment where Billy Bob's Pops feels like he could say nigger in front of you and your black friend. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, yes, it seems small, just like that little stuff, but that is why some dudes feel like they can just have their way with women, because they see little shit like that and they feel it's okay. And that shit fucked my soul up. I'm not gonna lie.
But the fact that because I feel like it's important too, because we live in a day and age where a lot of people will cover shit up until it's brought to the
until they're exposed.
Until they're exposed and it's brought to the light when they're rich and famous, because, you know, if you talk about it, if you do anything to any degree, you're canceled, you know? And if you do something and it really is fucked, I'm not going to say like the whole society should cancel you. I'm going to cancel you personally. And I hope if other people feel strong enough, they're going to, but I'm going to do it on my own accord. I'm not going to tell other people what to do. But if you're trying to actively correct yourself from a society that's tried to tell you certain things are okay, and you're talking to people that you've affected and you're really trying to right your wrongs, I don't think like those kind of people should be vindicated as badly as the ones that are, bro, you know how they so many women will talk about how they have all these stories about shit that's happened to them, and all of a sudden you're like, damn, like I'm realizing it too, because majority of the women that I know that are friends to me have had shit happen to them, and I'm thinking they're all like, yeah, this is just how it is. I'm like, damn, if this is happening to you, this happened to you, this happened to you, this happened to you, then, and I think all of my niggas are absolved of guilt. Like, if nothing has happened, it's like, who's doing this? Then I realized that a lot of people are just low key for their friends, because this is the same shit with the David Dobrik situation, where it's like, even if you're not the one who did something, if you're complicit as well as like covering it up to protect this person or whatever, that makes you just as bad, you know?
Because I've seen a lot of homies like just
you didn't pull the trigger, you hit the body though, bro. Like.
Exactly. Like, there's a lot of people, bro, that I've considered friends that maybe even still to this day that I consider friends, because you don't know about people. I just have hoped in my age, because this was probably like that last instance was in my mind, once again, I don't know, because I'm not a woman, but I mean, like, it was the last offense probably for me, and that was like 4 or 5 years ago. But it's like, this kind of shit happens every day. Yeah. This kind of shit happens every day. And it be niggas, I'm sure there are niggas right now that you consider friends right now that have done some weird shit in probably the last week or two that you don't even know. Like, that's how down low a lot of these niggas are about this shit, because their niggas will never talk about it if they see it. One. And two, it's just like they kind of feel like it's okay because we were told certain things. Like, even you were speaking about it earlier. You said it was like one of the moves, bro. I remember.
So you know how people always would talk to you
in high school and early college, bro. There were two things that I was told by. I'm not going to mention names because I'm not friends with a couple of these people, but I still don't want to vindicate people. But it's just like that we're kind of taught, because I've heard it from hundreds of people. Yeah. But it's just like, bro,
like this isn't subject to like two people. This is the culture.
One, it's just like
this was the culture. I don't know anymore.
Like
but
a bunch of dudes, like the first time, like, you really not break down how creepy it is if a girl doesn't know you, that the first time you're trying to hang out with them, is at the crib alone with alcohol.
And like the first time, bro, I've seen people,
you know what
off
I'm
the
saying?
Tinder
Do we really not think about how creepy that is?
Date, you've never met this person, invite them over to their dorm, and the first thing you're trying to do is drink with this person to the point where y'all are basically blackout just so you can fuck. Like, and I've heard, thinking now, in the past, I was like, oh, you know, and to be fair though, as a guy, when you're young and you're just like, oh, I'm not saying like blackout, but like, you know, have some fun, like invite them over, y'all have a good time, whatever happens. But now I'm thinking like, that's predatory, bro.
I've seen a lot of shit, dog. Like, I've definitely seen like way too drunk girls go home with people I know. You know what I'm saying? Like, who were pretty drunk or kind of drunk, but they knew what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? Looking back, they knew what they're doing. I always thought that was weird. I always felt like I need to be on the same level of the person I'm hooking up with, or else, like, but these were little things that, once again, were excused. Like, that's why I'm saying, like, I never want women to say I'm without fault ever, because I'm very much in fault. Like, I've seen a lot of things happen and just kind of let them go. You know, they may not have been egregious acts, because at the end of the day, I had a certain level of empathy and coup from having sisters and like my mom, like that I said were so important.
The thing is, you didn't know how bad these things were. But I didn't know
how bad some of these things were. Like, truly, like one of the number one things that broke my heart, like, period. And I'm not gonna try to get too choked up on this, like, because that shit, like, legitimately brought tears to my eyes, was seeing like the Reddit. It was either a Reddit thread or just like, no, it was an Instagram thing, and it was just like, women comment what would you do in a world without men, and women were saying things like, walk alone at night,
bro. Like what?
Like what?
When I'm not gonna
walk alone, bro. Just do little shit, like simple shit in life. They want to just go outside,
bro.
They just want to be fearless when crossing the road. They just want to be able to drink with their girls and not worry about what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit is so crazy to me. How much and niggas go out of their way so hard to protect their dogs when, bro, you know, you just foster that environment. You know how easy it is to correct your niggas. Like, bro, if you really love the person you are next to and they really respect you, when you call them out, they will listen. That's why I have a zero tolerance policy to any of that shit now. I call everything out as it comes.
You know how, like, when you're a kid, you think your parents are like heroes, and you're probably holding them to too high of a pedestal, because as you learn, like, them niggas did fuck shit too. Not necessarily saying fuck shit, but everyone shit things. You know, no one's perfect or whatever. But I have one of my best friends, is a woman, and we lived together. And I remember when we lived together and some of the shit she would tell me, and I just thought she was tripping. Like, not thought she was tripping. I didn't think it was that deep. When she told me, I was like, damn, this is real life for you? Like, this is how it is? Like, she was afraid to, like, literally just leave her blinds open so like people in the neighborhood wouldn't know that a woman lives in this room, just in case like me or Matt weren't there, so like she wouldn't get taken advantage of. She was like afraid to like go from her car into our house at night without like certain lights being on certain places because didn't want to get snatched up. And I'm like, knowing that this is the kind of person, it's this obviously I have sisters and shit, but like I feel like in some way we inherently believe like
your people
like
are good.
They're gonna not just that they're good, but they know that I'm gonna be there for them, and I know that they're whatever these kind of things, and like that's already kind of instilled, and it wasn't a choice for us. Like as siblings, like even though again I know not all siblings are like that, but it wasn't a choice for us to love each other. We already did, and we always are going to, and we had to build into it more, obviously, but like that's always what it was. Knowing that this person trusts me with their life and their safety and all this kind of shit, and I was a part of a system that made. And I'm not saying to like the worst degree because I like to think I'm a good person, but in some ways I've even myself perpetuated I guess systems out there that allow people to get taken or turn a blind eye to it because I didn't even know it was there. Like that's the kind of shit that fucked me up to realize I got to do better about educating myself. I got to do better about caring more. I got to do better about like losing some of my like. I don't even know what to say in this
things that
like,
you may not know. Like you have to unlearn behaviors. We have to unlearn behaviors. We have to unlearn a lot of
and have to be okay with looking at yourself with a little bit of shame. Like I can't believe I thought that.
Bro.
I can't believe
like,
I was that.
Dog, you have to be able to look at yourself and be like, look, we are raised in a society that makes all men, not some men, all men inherently a little bit sexist, a little bit this, a little bit that. And these are behaviors, whatever degree it is per person, that we need to unlearn and we need to get better from. But holding ourselves to that standard and trying to obviously not ever be on some weirdo shit. You should always call out your dogs. You should always make sure that you're not complicit in any of these actions. I'm going to round it up, though, just so we can take a little intermission before we get into the sports side of shit, though. So we may continue these conversations, of course. Y'all let us know if you like this format of us basically just being a little bit more open conversation the whole time. But for now, my name is Chuka.
My name is Ezekiel.
Yes, Sirski. And this is the Offspace.